So in this video, we're going to look at the traits that I've identified for both successful and non-successful family businesses. I've been saying for a long time, I'm like an anthropologist. I'm studying tribes of human beings. And, I worked in my family business for 16 years. I've lived in our family for over 50 years. And so working in my family, looking at other families over the last 30 years, I've identified a few key traits that are there for the successful families and likewise there for the non-successful families. So let's look at those. Here's the learning objectives for this session. For you to get the benefit of what I've learned working with families so it can accelerate your learning about your own family. For you to compare your family to the successful and non-successful family businesses to help you prioritize your development opportunities. So let's get down and really look at what are the traits in the successful and non-successful. In the successful, I found a few things that I think we should look at. A strong leader with a semi-healthy ego, I say that with a smile, resilience, the ability to go the distance through challenges, a strong team of non-family business professionals, a willingness to learn from others, and a history of a semi-stable, semi-smooth family relationships. Let's look at each of those in more detail. The first trait is a strong leader with a semi-healthy ego. So, let's be honest with each other. We all have different kinds of egos, but the family leaders that are strong have an ego, but not such an ego that they got to keep proving to everybody they're the only person that can do it. So we need a strong leader with a semi-healthy ego that can see the success in others, hand over the reins, enjoy seeing the next generation be successful. The next one is resilience. Let's be honest. You got to be resilient to get through the challenges you get through. So this is one of my success traits. If your family is not very resilient, they're probably not going to make it. Families that are resilient, those challenges make them stronger, better, and really are a key ingredient for long-term success. The next one is a strong team of non-family professionals. This sounds a little kind of counterintuitive, but in a lot of good, successful family businesses, ours included, you get a nice team of non-family professionals. That helps the whole professionalism of the family firm. It helps for better ideas. It just makes for a stronger team. So that's one of the traits as well. The next one is a willingness to learn from others. So quite honestly, the families that I've seen that are successful know that they don't have it all figured out. They lean on consultants, others, coaches. They're open to new ways of learning at things. So you really need to look and see, is your family willing to learn from others? That's not to take away that your family's super smart and been very successful, but they of semi-smooth, semi-consistent family relationships. So you've gotten along. It doesn't mean that there's not a little conflict now and then, but for the most part, you've been smooth, you've been somewhat stable. That really helps for long-term success in the business. So now let's start to look at the traits for the non-successful families. Non-success traits I've identified, a little bit of the opposite of the ones we looked at before. First of all, a leader that has an unhealthy ego. I'm sorry, there's a lot of people that are good, they've been successful, but they're narcissistic. It's like all about them, or they're like, they've got to be the star and nobody else is going to be the star. So if you have an unhealthy ego, an unhealthy leader, that's going to be a problem. The next trait is unhealthy traits in the next generation. Entitlement, lazy, not that talented, I hate to say it, but in some way that next generation has some traits that are going to be a problem for the long-term success of the family. The next is a history of family fighting and drama. So with some families, that's just kind of who they are. That's how they've operated together all along. If your family's got that, sometimes that's a trait that is an indication that it might be very difficult for you to make it in the long run. And then the other trait is families that just don't have a lot of passion. They don't have a lot of interest in the business. So here's a couple of reflection questions for you. When you think of those success traits and non-success traits, what comes up with you for your family? When you look at that, what do you see? And what does that tell you about the future of your family business? The next question is, what should you do about that? What are you willing to do about it? So really take some time and give that some thought. I've got a couple challenges for you. First of all, identify what your top either success or non-success traits are and email me, and I'll tell you anything I know about that or other information on how to deal with that. And then secondly, email me and tell me what you're going to work on and how you're going to work on it and when you're going to work on it, and that'll help me hold you accountable. Remember, that's an important part of coaching. So thank you for getting through each of these video sessions. We're going to get on to the next one in just a minute, and I want to encourage you to play to your potential.